The universe may test you, but are you ready to answer correctly? If not, fret not. This video is for you because I'm going to be explaining the test and how you can pass it every single time so you can finally manifest your desires once and for all, every single time. But before we do jump into that, if you could comment down below success stories that you have or have heard of that seem to have come after a universal test. Because of course, when we get tested, it can sometimes feel disheartening in the moment. And I want to inspire some other people that see your success stories to know that if they're in the middle of the test, they can still come out the other end and get their success of their own. But if you could also drop me a like on this video, just to let me know if you like this kind of content, and subscribe to the channel. And when you do, be sure to click that bell icon. Now, if you want any one-to-one help from me specifically to help you get over your situation and create what you want, down below in the comment section and the description are the links to the services that I have to offer to help you do just that. But thank you so much for your time. Now let's jump into this video. Now, tests. This is a big subject across the manifestation community. The universe is testing you. God is testing you. Something else is testing you. Test, 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 test. Now, I want to give you my 2 cents on tests. Because you are the universe, you're being tested by yourself. I do not abide or subscribe to the ideology that the universe as an external to you tests you. Because you dictate the universe that you experience through your thoughts and assumptions, the universe itself is only giving you or showing you a reflection of your internal state. If you're to paint a picture, the only thing that could possibly be on that canvas is what you have painted. So when it comes to these ideologies of tests, the way that I see it is yourself that is testing yourself. But of course, let me explain. There is a part of you that is attached to this 3D reality. No matter what you do, it will always be a part of this 3D reality. Of course, you can diminish the amount of effects you have over it, or it has over you, sorry. Or if you let it run rampant, it can really increase the amount of effect that it has over you. But nonetheless, there is a part of you that is linked to this 3D reality. That part of you, of course, mean the human ego. The side of you that uses this 3D reality to create a concept of yourself, which it uses to try to keep you physically, mentally, and emotionally safe. For example, if I was to burn my hand on a stove, I would find it very difficult to willingly put my hand on that stove again because I have the memory, I have the concept based on this 3D reality that stove equal hot, stove burn hand, essentially. Or if I have, what's another example? If I've been deeply in love with someone and they've broken my heart to go with someone else, my human ego may then go, I fall in love with person break heart because gone with other person. Therefore making it very difficult for me to fully invest myself in new person. Essentially things like that. The human ego, at its root cause, not the term we give like, oh, he's got an ego or she's got an ego. The human ego uses this 3D reality to essentially decide what is the right thing to do going forward to try to stop you from experiencing negative things again. Now, of course, it is very backwards because our own state creates what we experience. So the human ego basically recreates negative experiences that it's trying to keep you away from. So it's a bit of a goofy goober. So this is why you are tested. Now let me tell you how you are tested. When you start to shift your state of consciousness toward a desired outcome, let's just of course say relationship right now, you're making claim that you have this desired outcome. You're making claim that you are in a loving relationship, you feel safe and secure, everything is amazing. But hold up, your human ego remembers that this person broke your heart before. or remembers that someone else that was similar to this person broke your heart before. So when all of a sudden you start saying, nope, I'm in a loving relationship, it's amazing, I feel safe, I'm opening myself up to this love, your human ego is essentially going, everything that I'm using to keep you safe isn't true. Therefore, I'm going off a complete false narrative, and its sirens go off. It essentially shits itself and goes, we need to bring you back to what I know is familiar, what I know is comfortable. If you're back here in this comfortable space, I can then know, because obviously familiarity and comfort often breed safety, I can then know you're safe. I can then know what is predictable. Because an example, silly example, as soon as we get home, we feel safe, we feel comfortable. We can fall asleep with ease. But if I was to tell you right now to go fall asleep in the street, you would find it very difficult because you don't know what would happen. Would you get bugs all over you? Would you get robbed by someone? Would you find someone cuddle up to you in the middle of the night on the street? You don't know. Therefore, it makes it difficult. Your human ego does the same thing. Because you've experienced things in the past, you kind of have an idea of outcomes. You kind of have an idea of experiences if X was to happen. So when you start feeding it a new story, it goes, everything that I've been using is false. Therefore, either A, I'm wrong, or B, what you're telling me is wrong. Either way, there is a disconnect, and therefore it doesn't know whether or not you are going down a path that keeps you safe. Or if it does manage to kind of identify it, you're now going down a path that it remembers hurt you. If you're manifesting an ex, for example, you're saying, I'm in a loving relationship. Your human ego goes, oh, but last time we were in a loving relationship with this person, they broke our heart. And that's why sometimes we can feel old things creeping in. And that is the test. So what the human ego does when its sirens go off is it bombards you with thoughts and feelings about the time they broke your heart, or how someone else wants them and they want that other person, or you're not safe, you're not good enough, you're not pretty enough, you're not this enough or that enough. It feeds you all of the crap that you invested your energy in previously to try to remind you of that state, to try to essentially bring you back. Oh, what are you on about? You're in a loving relationship. Remember, you're not good enough for them. Remember, why are you saying you're in a loving relationship? Remember, they broke your heart. Why are you saying you're in a loving relationship for them? They're never going to love someone with eyebrows like that. It tries to bring you back to what it sees as familiar, comfortable, and therefore safe. That is the test. Because your human ego is also yours to control and to dictate. If you let it do that and you succumb to it, you have gone back to familiarity and comfort. Now, familiarity and comfort aren't good things, aren't a prerequisite for good things. For example, it can be familiar and therefore comfortable to drink a lot if you're an alcoholic. We can obviously say that that's not an objectively good thing for you. So therefore, we must identify that familiar and comfort aren't good things on their own. It depends on what you're familiar and comfortable in. Now, you and I logically and consciously go, well, I'd be happier in this relationship. I'd stop feeling the pain. I'd stop this. I'd stop that. I would be happier there. But because it is the unknown and goes against the programming of your human ego, it is unsafe or unfamiliar, and therefore it deems it as unsafe. Even though logically and consciously, that's better than where you're at now, that's also unfamiliar and therefore goes against its basic programming of the concept of you and the things around you. So the test, the universal test that everyone says about, because of course it all shows up in different ways, it is just the human ego kicking back in. It tries to bring you back. Will you let it? That is what is important. Will you let your human ego bring you back to the state of, they don't want you, you're not good enough, remember this happened, remember that happened? Or are you going to understand what it is trying to do? Because it's kind of like a child. It thinks it knows best, but it's only been here for a few years. well, the human ego's been here, you know what I mean? I meant the child has only been here for a few years. The human ego thinks it knows best, but in reality it doesn't. So it's going to try and hit you where it hurts. Kind of like how a child, if you say no sweets in the morning, you must have a proper breakfast, it screams and tells you it hates you. It knows what will get to you. And therefore you'll go, no, please don't hate me. Here's candy for breakfast. Here's sweets for breakfast. It does what it can. It drives that little knife in somewhere that really hurts so that you will give in. But just like with a child, with the human ego, you must not give in. You must not fail that test and instead choose to know it's just trying to keep you safe, and therefore don't be angry at it or yourself. It's just trying to do what it is programmed to do, but instead choose to understand that it is nothing more than trying to bring you back to where you were and understand that you have complete control. Take a few deep breaths, focus on some other positive things, start overcoming other challenges just to give yourself that boost that you can do this, and continue focusing on that end result. Continue focusing on showing your mind, yes, we are in this 3D reality where I have my person. Yes, I am more than good enough for this person. Yes, my eyebrows are good enough for this person. Yes, I have this person and it is amazing. What my thoughts are, what my feelings are right now, that is the false information, because look, here's a visualization of me with my person. Here's thoughts of me with my person. Here's affirmations where I'm claiming this is my person. Because your mind doesn't know what is and isn't real. Therefore, with consistency of dwelling within that space, you will overcome it and you will pass that test and you will experience your 3D reality. This is why so many of you have those small experiences of doing exceptional for a few days, and then you wake up feeling like crap, anxious, scared, thoughts are just running rampant, everything negative happening. Maybe even something in your 3D reality shows up to try to get the best of you. It's just the other side of your mind saying, hey, come on, come back. Think of it like this. It's like when you try to overwrite a file on a laptop with the same name and it says either like there's already a file with this name. Do you want to overwrite it? If you say yes, you have that new file. If you say no, you keep that old file. Your sudden step back, your ego kicking in, is just your internalized computer saying, are you sure this is true? Are you sure you want to overwrite our programming with this new thing? See it like that, as opposed to you doing bad, or as opposed to something external to you getting the best of you. It is just your part of you that is trying to do its best to keep you safe, trying to do what it does best. Thank it for its service. Thank it for trying to keep you happy and safe, but remind yourself and it that you are happier with your person. Or if you're manifesting something else, you're happier with your job, or you're happier with this other thing. Take a few deep breaths to really calm yourself down and then continue to go on forward. Don't give it any more power than necessary. Thank it for its service. Show it that it's appreciated, because of course it's all part of you. So by getting angry at it, you're inadvertently getting angry with yourself. And considering you're the only person that you're ever going to have all the time, and you need that self-trust and self-assuredness to get through the hard times, if you start turning on yourself, you're going to have a very difficult time winning some of these battles. So thank it for its service. Thank yourself for trying to look after yourself and trying to do what you think is best. But deep down, the adult side of you knows what's best. And what's best is to take a few deep breaths to calm down, comfort yourself, and remind yourself that your end result is what is most important. Because in your end result, that's when you'll be happier. In your end result, that's when you'll have the things that you desire to have. And where you are currently is not quite that end result. So there is no point feeding into that outcome. Choose the right struggle. Do you struggle now to overcome the thoughts, but pass the test and get what you want? Or do you let yourself take the easy route and deal with, and let your mind just says whatever it says and spiral, but then struggle later because you don't have your desire as soon as you could have, and you have to keep going through this test over and over and over again. So I really hope this video has helped. I hope it's going to help you overcome this sort of universal test. It is just the side of your mind that's trying to keep you where you are. There is nothing external to you that is making a difference for you unless you allow it to. Of course, if you're sitting there and saying, the universe, which is external to me, is testing me, then you will find things show up in such a way. If you're saying, that person is too stubborn to be with me, you're giving them the power to go against you. But if you can understand that everything happens through you and nothing less, you will take that power back and you will win. But thank you so much for watching. I really hope you've enjoyed this video. Like and comment if you have to let me know. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and be sure to click that bell icon. And if you're genuinely serious about manifesting your desires, and I mean genuinely serious, I don't want anyone that's just going to half-ass it, down below in the comment section and the description are the links to all of my services where I can help you do just that. But thank you so much for being here with me today, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye-bye.